Alright, we're back again for the 5th episode of our adventure. We left off with our heroes going through the woods to try to get to this mysterious blight that plagues the valley. They had just fallen asleep at their campfire. Hobran, you're the first one to wake up. Um, uh, you see your eyes kind of slowly flicker open, and you see the kind of dead fire, and the sun slowly beginning to come up, and there's kind of light dew all around. And the birds are chirping, and you see that Falkor still doing his his rounds around you guys, and that's about it.
All right. I get up and clang on my armor to wake the others up.
Clang, 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 clang.
Why?
I didn't get no sleep 'cause of y'all. Now y'all don't go get no sleep 'cause of me. Have you seen that video?
Nope.
It's
No.
from some really shitty reality show where it's like they all live in one house, and like this big black lady, like they kept her up. So like in the middle of the night she goes gets pots and pans and goes banging them around the entire house, waking everyone up singing that. It's fucking great. I'll post it later. Whisk goes, ugh. Is it time to get up? Are we
Indeed,
dead?
it is. We are not dead.
Oh, shit.
Damn it.
She kind of sits up and she takes off her hat, and there's just kind of this mess of just tangled whitish blonde hair, and she kind of pats it with her head, and she goes, "Oh, god damn it!" And she goes, "Oh, whatever." And then she puts her hat back over. Faye then kind of eerily sits up and then stands up and goes, "Ah, morning, my favorite time of the day."
Fierce, you getting up?
Begrudgingly.
Your pillow whispers to you, "Some trees have eyes."
I knew it.
You knew what?
I, I- Don't worry about it.
Are you talking to the crabs again?
No, there's someone talking to my pillow.
Oh.
Having some pillow talk there, Fierce?
Yeah, what of it?
It's a bad one. It's a really bad one. So eventually you guys kind of stomp out the fire and begin getting up and putting all your equipment on and saddling up and stuff like that. And you guys head back onto the road again. And so you guys kind of yawn as you make your way through the forest, which is still kind of damp from all the dew, and you hear that there's just small little birds chirping and kind of the normal forest ambience, and you guys just keep going through and eventually see the sun slowly coming up. until it's around midday when you guys first notice something peculiar. You guys are going through a big clearing, and you see just dead grass, as if winter came, and it's just that disgusting kind of brownish yellow, just death in this whole thing. And in the center of the field, you see a flower, but instead of being a vibrant yellow daisy, you see it's just black. And it's peculiar because it's black, but it's still retained its shape. Not as if the flower had died and wilted away, but the flower is still there, but tainted. Anyone want to do anything here?
I would like to go investigate it.
You go closer to the flower and you see exactly what I just told you.
I pick it up.
You pick up the flower and then it wilts away right as you pluck it.
Oh, looks like this is the blight.
So after that weird occurrence, you guys start making your way back into the forest, and you're starting to notice more of these kind of blackened, tainted things. You start seeing just patches of grass that's, instead of being brown and dead, it's kind of blackish purple, and you start just noticing more of the trees. Some of them are either dead, or you see that they're black. And as you kind of continue your way into this forest, you guys kind of feel just drained and sad, and kind of the atmosphere just feels heavy on you. And it's just becoming more dense, and the blackness just kind of seemed to take hold of everything. And at this part you were at, and you guys break through out of the forest, and you see what used to be a small little town. You see there's maybe 6-7 buildings, but now they've kind of have holes in them. You see one of them's collapsed, and you see the remains of what used to be like crops, and you see rotten carts, and you can't see too much else from where you guys are at. What do you guys want to go in or keep going?
I would like to go in.
All right.
You guys slowly begin to enter this town, and you guys are noticing more of these dead and or tainted things, and it seems to even have gotten onto the buildings. Some of the buildings have these kind of what seem to be blackish purple vines that seem to be grasping at the building as if they wanted to drag it down. And you guys kind of peek inside the houses, and you see kind of just ramshackle tables. You see one of the only things that hasn't kind of rotted away is the hearths in these the hearths in these little homes. You see that the beds have kind of either crumbled away or broken or just tainted, and you guys kind of get to the center of the town and you see something strange. You see a body, but you see part of the body, like the torso and the chest region, has been eaten away, where there's just clean white bones. But then you see on one of the arms, you see that there's what seems to be flesh, perfectly preserved flesh that's blackened over as if it had a veil over it. And you see there's a foot that's like that, and you see half of the face of what seemed to be a man. You see a little like black hair on its head, and you see that what half of his mouth kind of is open in horror, and then the other half of his head is just a skull. And Whis kind of looks at it and goes, oh, wow, that's grim.
Looks like whatever's causing this taint doesn't just affect the plants.
And so after a little bit more exploring, you guys don't find anything else of note. You see a lot of kind of rotten fruit and what seemed to be a crop that was just about to be harvested is either tainted or rotted away. And you guys kind of finish up your business there and head back into the forest. Someone roll kind of nature. Okay,
19.
Let's hope Whis can help you guys out.
Beerus rolled a 19.
Yeah, I got a 19.
Okay, so Beerus, you've kind of figured out this pattern of the different densities of this taint, and you follow these densities until they start getting thicker and more black. You guys make it through, and it becomes a lot harder to traverse this this forest. You guys kind of have to get off your mounts and go on foot, because now there's those kind of blackish purple vines have been just tangling up this forest around you, and you guys have to either rip them out or kind of duck under them or slice them. And it's just as you're getting towards what seems to be the center of this forest that it starts becoming a lot darker and denser, and you kind of feel this as if you look out into the forest and you can't see too far, as if there's a kind of blackish fog there, and everything seems to be affected. If it's either dead or tainted. And then is someone leaving? Oh, I heard a knock.
Oh no, it's just my
And then,
plastic clacking.
And then you guys break through, and you see a clearing, a perfect circular clearing, and in the center you see what seems to be a cave opening.
Well, I'm guessing that's where we probably need to go.
And so all around this cave opening, that seems to be the blackest earth you guys have seen. It almost looks like the night sky itself. It's so black. Whisk goes, I've got a bad feeling about this. Do you guys want to do any preparation before you go spelunking?
I tell Beerus I want to try something out.
Okay.
Let's get out the jug of the rains.
All right.
I'm just gonna pour a tiny bit of my holy water in here and see how that affects this area.
Okie dokie.
So I would just pour a like an 1/8 inch high amount of water, holy water, into the jug.
An inch maybe, or not even?
Just enough to get a sense of what the initial reaction would be.
Okay, so maybe like half an inch you put into the jar, and it's never quite stated how the jar begins to activate, but I guess Beerus kind of puts the cork on top of it, and then you guys look up and you see kind of storm clouds begin to appear, and they start to be thicken, and then right as it seems like it's about to rain, it just disappears.
Thought this jug was supposed to make it rain.
I thought so too. That's what the guy told me.
Which says, I think something might be stopping it. I bet you it's something that's down there.
Well, I guess we'll have to go and find out.
So, what do you guys want to do? Any preparations, or just gonna venture?
Let's see.
I mean, I'm ready to go, so I just venture.
Okay. Can Wes do anything? Wes tries to dispel magic on the ground, but it doesn't seem to work. But she has no other spells she can really use. So, you guys kind of gather yourselves and make your way into this cave. And right as you guys get maybe 5 feet into this cave,
Before we step in, I use my protection from energy cantrip on myself, specifying acid.
okay, you're protected from any acid that comes to you. So as you guys get maybe 5 feet into this cave, it's really dark. It's pitch black, and you can't see anything.
Ooh.
This isn't just normal darkness. It's
Advanced
darkness.
Well, wish I had thought of this earlier, but I didn't prepare it, so can't do it.
What?
I could have dark vision.
You could.
I could. Hold on. Gotta look at this real quick. Artificer. It's one of my spells that I can know. Yeah, second level spell of dark vision.
Well, do you have it? Did you learn it?
No, I didn't. I didn't prepare it, so I don't have it.
Have you prepared any of your spells?
Well, I mean, I have my spell. My spells are like ready to go. They're just
Not that one.
not what I. Not that one.
Okay, well, you guys have any other forms of light to use?
Daylight.
Okay.
I guess I will center it on my sword.
Okay. 60-foot radius sphere of light spreads out. Okay. So you take out Redeemer and you put your hand on it, and then you see everything lit up in this cave. And you see that it's, just a normal cave. Lots of rocks, stuff like that. And the thing you notice is at the end of your spear, where the light is, you notice that kind of like the darkness seems to be almost fluxing back as if it was trying to get back to it. It's fighting the light where it is. And you kind of hold
Do you read the last sentence of Daylight?
Hmm.
It's no spell.
Fine. It's technically 120 feet now.
So you guys
Just 60 foot is bright, and then the last 60 foot is dim.
So after maybe a good hour of just descending through this cave, you see you see something up above, or well, not above, but below you. If I can move you guys over. Let me check things real quick. Okay, we're good. Let me reveal where you guys are. Okay, put tokens there.
Oh.
Oh, at the bottom. Gotcha.
I was gonna say where?
I mean, there's that square in the center, but that's still black.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get Faye. So Habran, you kind of point your sword out, and you notice a very large door with what seems to be a whole bunch of kind of roots around it. And as you guys begin to get closer, you realize that they're not roots. They're twig blights. And now we're gonna have to roll initiative.
Combat! Mortal Kombat!
Ooh, Beerus with the 4. 17, that's pretty good. Okay, Wes needs to roll.
Kano.
Okay. And then we need to roll for the plates.
I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
Faye.
Sorry about that.
Alright. Pretty sure that's everyone. Okay, top of the round with Jordan.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. What is that cast as? Action. Okay. All right. Since I am mounted, I will go ahead and cast haste, which starts my 6-turn round for that. All right, and then so we will do a charge at the closest twig light. Then hooves.
Okay. Which one are you talking? That one.
The one that's right next to me.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And then that causes
It
DC
breaks
14.
apart.
Okay, it's dead. Cool. Then I guess we'll keep going forward and tech the next one with hooves. Ooh, crit.
That one falls apart.
Then go forward. And longsword.
That's a hit.
$10 damage.
Is dead.
Okay. And see that distance traveled so far is 40 out of my 120. So I will then that. Go back here and cast Hunter's Mark at the closest one.
Okay. Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Because technically, my regular action was consumed by casting haste, and the haste extra action is only good for one attack, not two. So,
Faye will move here, and she will cast Magic Missile at the twig blight that is Hunter's marked, and it falls apart. She puts the other one. That one takes damage. And that one takes some damage too. And that's all she's gonna do. You're still writing Falkor, right?
yeah.
Okay. So it's the Blight's turn. Okay. So this one will move here and is going to use its needles against. So he wants to attack Jordan. What's your AC's 21, right?
22. It was 21, but now I have the Cloak of Protection, so.
Okay. That doesn't hit.
I wanted to say you get 2 bonus to AC due to haste.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Then this one will use needles. And
24.
So these two, they kind of jut out their arms and needles fly from them. And one hits one of your scales, Jordan, and kind of tink off, and the other one flies right over your head. And then this one is going to go right there. And then it's Wiss's turn. Wiss is going to move I don't know if she wants to move there. And she's gonna ready in action. Now it's Moonmoon's turn.
All right. I decided going. Well, I never really said it, so I guess technically I'm still riding Moonmoon, but um,
If you're still riding him, then you both take your turn.
okay. All right. So we're okay. I can go there, no problem. Okay. I'm gonna go here.
Okay. As you begin to charge on Moon, and you come right next to that blight, you see
He
as
gets an
it
attack of
kind of
opportunity.
reaches out its arms, and then you see as all these vines and thorns begin to come out of the ground, and they start grasping onto Moon. And I want you to roll a strength saving throw for Moon.
Okay. Is this gonna be a saving throw? I really hope
Yes.
so.
We'll count it as one, but you see his Moon, he begins to charge, and then these vines, they wrap around his feet, and you see his Moon, like his gears keep trying to move to go forward, but he can't move,
Okay.
and you're also on top of him.
Since he is right there next to it, can he still attack or?
He's restrained.
Oh. Um. Well then, I am going to throw alchemical fire at this one.
Okay. Rolled it.
Where did my freaking character sheet go?
It's dexterity, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's a dex save.
You throw your vial, and you see as it flies through the air elegantly, and it lands right into the vine or the blight's chest. It explodes, and it just scorches it, and it falls apart.
All right. I mean that's. I use a. I can't use a bonus action to try and break free, can I?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm done then.
Okay. Hobbrand, your turn.
All right. Okay, so he is this one dead?
No.
No.
Okay. But that is the one he just hit with his fire, right?
No.
No. No.
Oh, okay.
This one is.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I trot up to this one.
All right. Well, Falkor needs to make a strength saving throw.
All right.
So Falkor charges, and you see as the vines.
Did I roll? Oh, okay,
sprout
there you go.
out, and they try to grab Falkor, but Falkor kind of just charges through them, and the vines get knocked to the side as you charge towards the blight.
All right. And then hoofs.
And it falls apart. All right. Wait, no, that's an 11. No, it does not hit.
Okay. Then Falkor will kick it again.
Okay, that one kills it.
So wait, is Falkor is able to use double who's even though he didn't land.
Falkor's using the second haste attack he has, not the double attack from hitting.
Okay. So now, do you get a double attack for hitting that one?
The caveat with the fact that of how Falkor exists from the Find Steed spell means if I'm mounted on him, any single target spell that I cast on myself targets the horse too. So when I applied haste, it applied to me and Falkor. So
Yeah, but I'm saying with that second who's, since he landed it, is he now able to use who's again on the one remaining?
no, I think it's supposed to be on the same target, and only if you manage to charge 20 feet first.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I still got plenty of movement speed and my own 3 attacks. So, I move to the other. Do I need another strength saving throw?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
And it uses half your movement because it's difficult terrain.
Okay.
And it used it to when you went through it the first time.
Okay.
He's fine.
Yep. Then it is my turn.
Okay. How do you want to kill it?
Jam the sword through the top of its head down through the core.
You jut your sword of light, and you hear the audible as it just sounds as if you broke through wood, and you just slice it down, and it comes apart, and just falls into 2 pieces onto the ground, and it just scatters into twigs, basically. You did it.
Yay!
Dun, 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 copyright.
Okay, so that's 300 experience.
So 65, 685.
Boom.
So now that you guys have killed all these blights, you can
I'm
now...
assuming that if I end the encounter and then therefore end my haste before it's over, I can avoid the turn of being incapacitated.
No, you just stay still.
Okay.
You see Habran, he's like looking around. He's like looking at the big door, and then he just kind of freezes. And Whisk goes, "You alright, Habran?"
6 seconds later. Yep, good now.
And then he keeps continuing like as if nothing happened. Whisk goes, "What the fuck?" And so now that you guys are done, you guys see this large metal door that seemed as if the twig blights were either guarding or protecting or trying to get in. And you see you see this door is pretty fucking massive. It reaches to the top of the cavern, which is maybe 30, 40 feet high. And you see that there's all these carvings on this door. Someone roll investigation. From what you could tell by looking at this door, both of you,
I got a 14 though.
Yeah, but you actually rolled a 5.
it's a pretty old door, very old, and from the encarvings, do you see that there's this main encarving of what seems to be maybe a dwarven king? He's large and carved to look very mighty, and you see he's in a big throne, and you see in his hand is this large pickaxe, and then you see around him you see that there's these other dwarves, and you're seeing that they're like bowing to him and giving him gifts. And then you see in the corners there's what seems to be like these creatures that seem to be creeping towards him. And you see that there's maybe dwarven champions which are like keeping them away. And from what you could tell, where it's a big door that has two doors that seem to open, but it seems to be maybe rusted or sealed shut. And you see that there's two big, I guess, metal handles.
I try to pull the handles.
Do a strength checks for me.
Oh boy. It's gonna be good.
You just keep pulling the handle and it's not budging at all.
Nat 12.
Let me give that a try.
No, I got it. Still trying to pull the door.
Brand, you have it and you're pulling with all your might, and you feel the door kind of, and you see that it kind of opens just a little bit.
I loosened it up for you.
Mm-hmm. Do I see anything through the crack?
Mm-mm. It's not open, but it's cracked. The door is so thick that
Still can't.
basically
Okay.
a little lip of it came out.
Do we want to try opening it again?
I suppose. Da-da-da-da.
You open one side of the door, and then the other side begins to open, and this metal door that hadn't seen any action in years begins to slowly creak, and you see as it slowly begins to part. As you begin to see the other side, you hear this awful noise, this just as if something was getting released from inside, and just this scent and air just kind of hits you as this as what they say in the Thriller song, a funk of 1,000 years just hits you, and it just this musty, dusty smell hits you, and it opens. And from what you could see on the other side, as you open it all the way, you hear this clatter of bones, and you see what seems to be kind of like a little crossroads. And right in front of the door, you see hundreds of skeletons dead. And you see, as from what they fell, it seemed as if they were trying to get out of this place. And you see on the inside of the door, which you hadn't seen before, you see just scratch marks on this door of what seems to be these people trying to get out. And you see some pathways in this kind of antechamber.
We must get out. They are coming. We must get out.
What are you guys gonna do?
Well,
Are you
Guess
still
so.
are you still on Moon?
I'm going to get off of Moon, but we're gonna walk together.
So you kind of precariously kind of walk over this thousands of just skeletons there, and you crunch, 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 and as Moon coming through very big and heavy, crunch, 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 as you kind of get over the heap of dead bodies, and Whisk kind of precariously makes her way across too, and
Note to self:
so
put
does
pads on pause.
Faye. Kind of just glides over them. Habrin.
I go through on Falkor.
Okay.
Can we tell what kind of skeletons they are?
Um, you'd have to take one out.
But like just general size wise.
I pick up one of the skulls.
They're very small, dwarvish skeletons. And as you guys are in this chamber, you see there's also other carvings on the wall. And kind of just from the architecture, you guys find yourself in maybe an old dwarven stronghold, maybe.
A dwarf fortress, if you might.
Hmm.
And that's where we're gonna stop the series, guys. That joke ruined it.
GG.
It's over.
Just ruined it for everyone. We gotta go re-roll characters, and DM needs to go write a new story,
Yep.
make new maps. It's gonna be a few months. So
So you see that there's kind of these pathways, but you can't quite see what's beyond them. Which way shall you go?
do we see any like kind of direction in which they're going in like an upwards or downwards motion?
The skeletons?
No, I mean the pathways. Like, are any of them leading downwards?
No.
Well, I always like to go left.
Okay. Do you want to go the left one?
Anyone have any objections? Or
Sure, let's go left.
Okay. So you guys head towards the left pathway, and you guys seem to be going down a long hallway, and eventually it ends, and you see kind of what seems to be a Torben Apartments, basically. You see, one second, let me ping. Over here, there seems to be a door, and you look through, and you see the remnants of what seems to be maybe like a bathhouse, like maybe a large bathroom that the people who lived here kind of shared. And you see that there's this hallway is long and has a whole bunch of doors on it.
okay. What are the doors made out of?
Just wood with kind of little bits of iron to keep it together. Very old.
I
You said there's
kick
just
one open.
You kick it open and you see that there is what seem to be remnants of someone's sleeping quarters. You see an old bed, a table, a couple of chairs, and you see a skeleton that's kind of propped against the wall, and you see dried blood um, around the skeleton.
Do I see like? I guess I can't really tell how it died. I just know that there's blood.
You could try to inspect the skeleton.
I will try and inspect the skeleton.
You go closer to the skeleton and you see um, in its rib cage is blown open. And you see some of um, the bones have been cracked, and you see part of the spine on the other side of the skeleton has been cracked.
So, are the bones bent outward or are they broken inward?
Inward.
Okay. I was worried we were gonna.
So we're not fighting Fist of the North Star here.
We're also not fighting xenomorphs. So
Or are you?
is there anything of interest in the room? Is there like anything of value?
You see some old dried out parchment. You see a quill, and that's really it.
Is there anything written on the parchment? I investigate the parchment.
It's too just faded to tell. You see that there was something on it at one time, but it's gone.
All right, to the next room.
Which one?
Let's go with this one. I can't tell if there's actually a room there. I just
Kick down the door and you see a collapsed room. You see the ceiling has kind of fallen into it.
Fierce is just running around kicking doors now.
Which one next?
That one. Or wherever the next one is. On this side. There it is.
You open it and you see a whole bunch of skeletons kind of huddled together at the back of the wall. You see that they were all facing the door. You see that one of the skeletons has its arms around a whole bunch of smaller skeletons, but they seem to have the same wound as the one before, broken rib cage.
Mm. Oh. Hey, Hopbrand, have you seen anything like this before?
Not really.
I don't know.
Which says, I think it might have been magic that killed them. Some sort of maybe magic projectile went through them?
Hmm.
Or a spear?
Guess so. But why would are the skeletons positioned, or are they are they still in the same position they were when they died, or are they just laying there?
Same position they were when they died.
Now how does yeah. Well, you see feel like if it was just a projectile, though, and I guess a magical projectile could freeze them in space like that. But,
Or just one moving fast enough that tore through them without moving the rest of their body.
well, yeah, but the thing is, if they died, then their body would have gone limp, and I can't see any reason why they would still be in this position.
Gonna kick down another door?
I'm gonna kick down another door. We're gonna keep this door kicking train moving.
It's like we're playing Munchkin. You kick down this door, and you kind of get startled for a second as you see a skeleton with a sword pointed right at you. And you kind of jump
Oh,
back
shit.
a little bit, and then you realize that it's not moving or anything. And you see what seems to be a dwarven skeleton that's still standing. Its skeleton has armor around it, and it has its sword, and it's pointed at you. And you see the chest plate is broken into, and so is the ribs, and the back of the spine have just been blasted out. And you see that there's two skeletons that are huddling in the back of the room, but they don't have any wounds from before, like the other ones.
I go to investigate those two.
You see that they're huddled. One has arms around the other one, but their rib cages are still intact.
What's the condition of the skeleton's armor and weaponry, other than the chest plate?
Chest plate's fucked. The helmet, old, a little rusty. Seems to be dwarven made. The sword seems pretty intact. It's a short sword, also dwarven made. You see kind of at the beginning of the blade, you see that there's kind of a blacksmith watermark on it, and the greaves and stuff are kind of just rusted as well. Made for a dwarf, though. But
Guess
somehow the skeleton's still standing up.
These skeletons don't just do this, unless they're Skellishanks.
I see if I can take the sword from the skeleton without disrupting it too much.
You try to move the skeletal hands, but they won't move.
I try and remove the sword without caring about the integrity of the skeleton.
How do you want to do it?
And grab the pommel of the sword and its skeleton where it's holding it, and just twist.
You put your hands on it and you try twisting, but it's not working, as if the skeleton was made out of pure stone.
Is
Well,
the skeleton
guys,
made out of stone?
It's not made out of stone, but
something is either causing these skeletons to remain in their position or have some resilience still.
Why were these two spared?
No, they're still skeletons.
They are still skeletons, but why don't they have the same wounds as all the other ones?
Are they holding anything?
each other.
I mean, I refuse to believe that the power of friendship saved them.
Or you're dead wrong.
If there's anything I learned from Yu-Gi-Oh, it's
Screw the rules. I have money.
the rules. I have money. Is there
Or
anything
two.
else in this room?
What seems to be the same standard issue table, bed, chair. This one had a hearth, though.
I would like to look in the hearth, see if there's anything in there.
Burnt logs.
All right, fair enough. I kicked down the next door.
Okay. You cook.
Cook.
You cooked the door.
I cooked the door. It was yummy.
You kick down this door, and you see a much larger room than the other ones. This one having a lot different furniture, a lot nicer, bigger bed, hearth, larger table, stuff like that. And in this one, you see two skeletons you haven't seen before. These ones seem to be a lot taller. And you see that they both have the two skeletons have their arms kind of outstretched with their palms flat. And you see one dwarf like the one before, kind of with a large war hammer and armor, but instead this one's its skull is missing, and you see behind it there's also some skeletons, but these ones seem to be destroyed, well, killed too.
You said the two of them are taller?
From what you can tell, they're elven skeletons.
Okay. Is the warhammer still there?
It's in its hands.
Oh.
Which says this must have been an officer's quarter or something like that.
What do you think these two were here for?
Probably to kill them.
Huh. Something looks like there was at least two different things going on, since everyone is frozen and skeletons, but some of the skeletons also are destroyed. They've been hit with something.
Where to next? That one?
Yep.
You see another one of the officers' quarters, and in this one you see that there's just one skeleton laying on the ground with one of its legs is halfway across the room. Its head is also across the room, and its rib cage completely destroyed. But it's also the same kind of furniture and stuff from the room across the hall. What next?
Are there any more doors in this hallway?
Mm-hmm. One here, one here, and then
Oh,
there.
I didn't realize that I missed doors.
Nope, you didn't miss. Oh, you did, kinda.
Oh, they're hidden doors?
In this one, you see that there's another of the two elven skeletons that seem to be looking in this room, but there's no other skeletons.
So wait, the elven skeletons are looking in the room?
Yeah. As if they were searching for something.
We open the door across the hall.
We're gonna figure this out.
In this one, you see another collapsed room. The ceiling come down, and you see a skeleton kind of reaching out for the door, the top half, and then the rest of it's just crushed. Two more.
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
In this one, you see there's a whole bunch of beds. You see a whole bunch of just empty beds. No skeletons. This seemed like it might have been a barracks or something like that.
And the
Same
last one.
same goes for this one, except in this room you find a skeleton hiding underneath one of the beds.
Okay. I go investigate.
And the skeleton has no wounds, but it seemed to be cowering underneath the bed.
Hmm.
And that's all the doors in this hall.
So why do some of them have wounds and others don't? It doesn't. Inconsistent.
Could be that there was some sort of spell that froze everyone in place, and then the elves were going in and, well, maybe the elves, I don't know. Someone was going in and blasting the ones they saw while they were still held in place. But if it was the elves, maybe something went wrong with the spell as they were in here and it froze them too. Because none of the elf skeletons have any holes in their torsos, right?
Nope.
So it could be that the ones they didn't see are the ones that didn't get holes blasted in them.
Hmm. So you think the elves did this?
At least part of this. It looks like they might have been causing some of this. Maybe something got out of hand. Or there's a third component that we don't know about yet.
Was there? I feel like there was a door here.
Hmm?
Wasn't there a door over here before?
No.
Oh,
This is it.
all right. Well, looks like we have successfully searched this wing.
Okay. So you guys go down these stone, cold, dwarven halls until you guys make it back to the kind of crossroads area. And Whisk goes, alright, where next?
I guess let's just keep going clockwise.
So here?
Yep.
Okay. So you guys kind of come through the doorway, and then you guys see something you didn't expect. One sec, I need to zoom out to reveal a lot of shit. You see that you guys are on a large pathway, what seems to be, and on either side there's just pure darkness. And you see that you guys are in this very large cavern that's been carved out, and you guys can't see the ceiling, and you guys can't see what's past these what's on like below you guys. You see that there's just these carved walkways that keep going, and you see you guys are on one of the carved walkways, and on this one you see that there's kind of a battle that was happening at one time, and then over here you see that there's another pathway that kind of keeps continuing, but then it kind of breaks. And then over here you see that there's kind of a broken part, and that it leads to what seems to be another area. And across from you guys, you see that there's a broken spot, which leads to another doorway. And it seems the only one that keeps continuing on is the middle pathway, but you guys can't quite see where it leads to. Wiz kind of looks around in astonishment.
Let's see. What can we tell of the stuff on the middle?
You see that there's 3 elvish skeletons, and you see there's what seems to be a big minotaur skeleton, and then 4 dwarvish skeletons. Two of them having bows, and one of them, and the 2 in front have big shields and a sword.
So it seemed to be a battle between the elves and the dwarves, or
It appears so.
what's up with the freaking minotaur?
So where are you guys gonna go?
I'm gonna continue down this path over here.
Okay, so
Let's see what this is.
you continue down this walkway, and you go down one of the branching ones, and you open the door, and you guys find yourself in a large dwarvish forge. You see that there's a big forge in front of you that is currently dead, but you see that there's all the stuff here to make everything: swords, armor, ballistas, siege weapons, everything. And on one of the tables, you see this large hammer, but not a hammer for war, but what seems to be a blacksmith's hammer that is made out of an unknown metal you've never seen, but it's covered in dwarvish runes. And as you look at it, it kind of has this blue kind of glow to it.
I go pick it up.
You pick it up, and right as you pick it up, you feel this jolt of just arcane energy kind of goes throughout your body, and you feel like you could smith some armor right now. Now you have the knowledge.
Sweet.
And as you hold it, you see that some of the runes, they kind of glow slightly.
Can I read them, or do they say anything?
Do you know Dwarvish?
I'm fairly certain I do, and I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Then roll Arcana for me.
20.
For what the runes are telling you, that this hammer, its name is the Dwarvish blacksmith's pride. And part of it tells a story about how that this hammer was made out of a special metal that helped. This hammer helped forge Depthbreaker. You see some of the other more magical runes on it. Basically, help strengthen whatever is smithed by it. And this hammer can magically manipulate certain metals from one of them, from what you could read from the runes.
Cool.
But all around this forge, you see that it maybe 5-10 people would have to be here to forge stuff at a time. Just because of the massive forge and the water and all the other stuff there. It seemed like a fairly large operation.
All right.
They really loved their smithing.
I'm going to attach the hammer to my belt.
Okay. You now have the hammer.
Yes.
The Dwarven Smith's pride.
Dwarven blacksmith's pride.
So, what do you guys want to do now?
Is there anything else of note in the room?
Nothing else except for that. Unless you guys wanted to make some stuff.
Just sit in here for like the next 5 hours, just making stuff.
Yeah, I think we're probably good. So go back over and investigate some more.
Okay. Where to?
Let's see. Guess since we know those lead across, let's go to the doors on the right.
So, this one.
Yeah.
You see a pathway in front of you, and it kind of goes out a little bit, and then you just see a stairway that leads into nothing.
Like nothing as in just darkness, or nothing as in it just abruptly ends?
Darkness.
Oh.
Pure darkness.
You see...
What do we see?
My instincts are telling me that that's the right way to go, so I want to go every other way possible.
Let's see.
But at the same time, this way seems... This way might also be the right way.
So are you guys just not gonna go down?
Let's go across the main bridge first, I guess.
Okay, so you guys decide, yeah, fuck that, and you guys go on to the main kind of walkway, and as you guys approach this battle, you hear this, and then, and you see the skeletons. They come alive, and you see that they keep continuing their battle as if they never stopped. And then they all kind of stop. And then they look to you guys. And that's where we're going to end this episode. I think I stopped it.
Tune into the next one.
I didn't stop it. I lied. This is
Okay,
gonna be
good.
awkward.
Good. Now we can tell them to watch the next one.
Watch the next one to see the thrilling conclusion of all the characters dying.
Although with all
Catch you in the next one.